Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Chief Justice of our High Court, my Lord Justice Alok, presiding over today's function, Hon'ble Shri Justice Prashant and Retired Justice Shri Shah, who both are our guests of honor today, the Honorable Judges of the High Court, both sitting and retired, who are with us in the audience today, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Shri Anil Singh, Learned Advocate General for the State of Maharashtra, Dr. Birendra Saraf, Pasbola, President of the Advocates Association of Western India, Shri Prashant, Relekar, other senior advocates, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, and my dear friends. It is a privilege to welcome all of you to this event that is organized in the honor of one of the finest judges of our High Court, extraordinary legal mind of our bar, known for his unparalleled expertise in many branches of law, Honorable Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak. The great Greek philosopher Socrates said, and I quote, "Four things belong to a good judge: to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially," unquote. The confluence of these four qualities is not very common, but Justice Oak was one in whose justice dispensation we all have perceived this confluence. His contributions to our legal system and public life have left an indelible mark on the fabric of judiciary. Justice Oak has always been known not just for his deep knowledge of the law, but for the compassion, integrity, and unwavering commitment to justice that have defined his judicial career. From his early days at the Bombay High Court to his current role in the Supreme Court of India, his judgments have consistently reflected a profound respect for constitutional values and the rights of the common citizen. His clarity of thoughts, fearless independence, and dedication to upholding the rule of law have made a lasting impact on the legal community and beyond. He is a beacon of fairness in a complex system and a role model for all who believe in justice as the cornerstone of democracy. Today, as we celebrate his contributions, we also express our gratitude for his service, for his principles, and for the inspiration he continues to provide to generations of lawyers and judges. Please join me in welcoming Honorable Justice Abhay Oak for today's felicitation program. Before we invite today's speakers to share their thoughts and reminiscences about my Lord Justice Oak, we would like to welcome our guests on the dais. I request now Advocate Siddhi Bhosle, our committee member, to felicitate the President of the Bombay Bar Association. He is not here, I am sorry. I request Advocate Akshay Pai, our committee member, to felicitate Senior Advocate Shri Sudeep Pasbola, the Chairman, Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. Advocate Vikrant Fatate to felicitate Senior Advocate Dr. Birendra Saraf, Advocate General of Maharashtra. I request our committee member, Advocate Sukumar Ghanwat, to felicitate Senior Advocate Shri Anil Singh, Additional Solicitor General of India. I request our Vice President, Advocate Vikas Kolekar, to welcome and felicitate Justice Ajit Shah, former Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court. I request our Secretary, Advocate Suresh Sabrad, to welcome and felicitate the Honorable the Chief Justice, Shri Alok Aradhe. I request our President, Advocate Prashant Relekar, to welcome and felicitate the Honorable Shri Justice Prasanna Varale, Judge, Supreme Court of India. There are few more felicitations. We are honored to have with us Srimati Anuja Oak, whose undaunted support has Srimati Radhika Aradhe, wife of my Lord the Chief Justice, to please accept token of our love and affection on behalf of our association. May I now invite the President of the Advocates Association of Western India, Shri Prashant Relekar, to welcome the guests and address the gathering. Shri Relekar.
Good evening, everybody. Honorable Supreme Court Justice Abhay Srinivaso, Honorable Supreme Court Justice Prasanna Bhalchandra Varale, Honorable Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, Shri Alok Aradhe, Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court, our guest of honor, Shri Ajit Shah, Honorable Retired Judges of the Bombay High Court, Additional Solicitor General Anil Singh, Advocate General of Maharashtra, Dr. Birendra Saraf, Honorable Chairman, Member of Bar Council of Maharashtra, Sudeep Pasbola, Honorable President, BBA Nitin Thakkar, who is not here, no? Okay. Mrs. Anuja Oak and Mrs. Radhika Aradhe. Before going ahead, I would like to address that this function is a humble yet a heartfelt tribute to a remarkable journey of an intellectual, one of the greatest stalwarts from the prestigious Advocate Association of Western India, who was conferred with the highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna in 1963. We honor and dedicate this function to the extraordinary legacy of this figure, Pandurang Vaman Kane. Pandurang Vaman Kane was a distinguished Indian scholar, Indiologist, and a scholar in Sanskrit, who is the best known for his monumental work, magnum opus and history of Dharma Shastra, which remains unmatched in scope, depth, and erudition. A work so profound that even modern legal system pale in comparison to his insight. This masterpiece was written in 5 volumes, more than 6,500 pages. Those were handwritten pages by him. He was awarded the Bharat Ratna in 1963 for his work, which he expanded more than 30 years. He was the most respected scholar in Indian classical studies. Please give him a big hand. And being a member of AAWI, we are proud of him. And now it is with deep sense of gratitude and admiration that we gather today to welcome and honor the exemplary career and incredible contribution of Honorable Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak. Justice Oak, a distinguished jurist whose contribution to the Indian judiciary has been nothing short of remarkable. I welcome Justice Prasanna Bhalchandra Varale, who stands as a paragon on judicial excellence, integrity and humility. Rising from modest beginning, he has consistently demonstrated resolute devotion to constitutional values and social justice. Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court and now a Judge of Supreme Court of India, Justice Varale's tenure has been marked by fairness, intellectual depth and sensitivity towards the marginalized. His judgment reflects clarity on thoughts, compassion and unshakable belief in the transformative power of Constitution. Justice Varale is truly a guiding light in the Indian judiciary. Sir, last year we met at Ratnagiri. You remember, sir? We met at Ratnagiri. Your speech left a strong impression on me. I particularly admire the insight you showed in speaking in Marathi. It enhanced the richness and beauty of knowledge you imparted in Marathi. Sir, you have total command over Marathi. I have seen that. I also welcome our guest of honor, Ajit Prakash Shah, who is one of the most distinguished and courageous jurists of the modern India, renowned for his bold, progressive and intellectual rigorous judgment. He served with distinction as the Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, earlier as the Chief Justice of Madras High Court, as also the Chairman of Law Commission. Justice Shah is celebrated for his landmark ruling on the issues of LGBTQ plus rights, privacy and transparency in governance. His fearless advocacy for civil liberties, human rights and judicial independence has made him a towering figure in Indian legal history. He continues to inspire a generation of lawyers to reformers with unwavering integrity and wisdom. Now it is my proud privilege to welcome all retired judges who are present over here for a special function. Your years of dedicated service, your judgment that has shaped the law and unwavering commitment to justice continues to inspire a generation of lawyers and judges alike. Though retired in designation, your wisdom and legacy will remain in court. You are truly honored by your presence today and we thank you for gracing this occasion with your continuous support and guidance. Welcome and we hope this gathering brings back you fond memories and create new moments and joys and reflections. And now it is with tinge of sadness to say that Justice Oak is nearing his retirement. And now we reflect on his legacy he leaves behind. One built on judicial excellence, unwavering integrity, and unrelenting pursuit of justice. And with his excellent work done by him in the highest temple of justice, that is the Supreme Court of India. His Lordship, apart from being known for his dedication and commitment to adopt justice-oriented approach, he is known as no-nonsense judge. So nonsense won't be tolerated in his court. He would go all out to uphold the constitutional values and the rules of law to ensure that the suffering of a common people alleviated in the best possible manner within the constitutional frame. Over the year, he presided over some of the most significant cases, delivering judgments that reflected his commitment to social justice and morality and the protection of fundamental rights. His courtroom was a place of fairness, discipline, and rigorous legal reasoning, making him a role model of the bar and the bench alike. At our High Court, in a public interest litigation filed by Bombay Environmental Action Group, His Lordship painstaking detailed judgment delivered for the protection of mangroves is a landmark judgment on environmental laws, due to which, till date, any project which proposes to cut mangroves has to first take permission from the High Court and convince the Lordship that the concerned project is for the public good. Justice Oak directions are premise on the public trust doctrine. Similarly, in another public interest highlighting noise pollution issue, Justice Oak has delivered a path-breaking judgment such that the noise pollution levels are brought under control, fixing the responsibility on the zonal authorities. In another case pertaining to hoardings, stringent directions were issued to the concerned authorities. However, suffice it is only say that Justice Oak kept the public interest at the heart of his administration of justice. But beyond his legal acumen, his lordship is admired for his humility and grace. He has reminded us that while law must be firm, the heart behind it must be compassionate. Justice Oak's judicial philosophy has always been guided by constitutional values, impartiality and deep sense of responsibility towards the rule of law. His judgments have shaped critical legal principles and commitment to mentoring young advocates and judicial officers has left a lasting imprint on the legal community. Presently, there is unfortunate cloud lurking on the judiciary. In such a situation, we will be missing your lordship on the bench. Your lordship as you now going to step in new phase of life. We wish you a peaceful and a fulfillment retirement. May the next chapter be an honorable, inspiring and rewarding as your years on the bench. On behalf of Advocate Association of Western India, I extend my deepest gratitude, best wishes to Justice Abhay O. Thank you, my lord, for your service. The court will miss you, but your legacy will endure. Also thanks all the judges, present judges, retired judges, Registrar General, Registered, who has given us all cooperation, and all the present dignitaries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I now invite the Chairman of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Sudeep Pasbola, to say a few words.
Respected Honorable Chief Justice Prashant Varale, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Shri Alok Aradhe, the guest of honor, retired Honorable Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Shri Shah, all other distinguished judges present here, esteemed guests, learned members of the bar, my colleagues, and above all, the guest of honor of today, the distinguished judge of the Supreme Court of India, Honorable Shri Justice Abhay Oak. It is with both privilege and a moment of immense pride to me to stand before you today, not only in my personal capacity, but as a representative on behalf of the entire advocates fraternity of Maharashtra and Goa, to felicitate a jurist whose career has been a beacon of legal excellence, humility, and service to the cause of justice. Justice Oka's journey is inspiring as it is distinguished, starting from Thane Bar, a journey which I am proud to say that I share with him. He built a reputation at the Bombay High Court as a formidable lawyer. His elevation to the bench saw those qualities of clarity, precision, and fairness reflected in his judicial decisions. He went on to serve as the Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court, where his leadership and judicial acumen were brought to the fore during one of the most challenging periods in our nation's recent history, the COVID-19 pandemic. His handling of that crisis, particularly the deluge of the public interest litigations and the right-based challenges that emerged, was nothing short of outstanding. Justice Oka's courtroom during that time became a sanctuary for the unheard, migrant workers, patients, and common citizens who needed to access to health, dignity, and justice. His sensitivity, proactive stance, and administrative insight were exemplary. From there, His elevation to the Supreme Court of India was both natural and richly deserved. At the highest court of land, his jurisprudence has expanded further, showcasing not just his foundational in civil law, but his formidable command over constitutional and criminal matters as well. His judgment in Senthil Balaji, Vihan Kumar, and the list can go on and on. All his judicial work are testament of his fierce protection of personal liberty and due process. They are now widely considered a model of judicial reasoning. Despite his rise to such great heights, Justice Oka has remained the same person many of us have always known, grounded, thoughtful, deeply committed to justice in every form. Justice Oka has passed several orders in environmental protection and better living conditions, whether at Mumbai, Bengaluru, or at Delhi. Sir, today we thank you for your decades of service, for the standards you have set, and for the example you leave behind for generation of lawyers and judges to come. On behalf of all the advocates in Maharashtra and Goa, I wish you good health, peace, and success in all that lies ahead. We look forward to the next chapter of your journey, one we are certain will continue to serve the cause of justice in new and meaningful ways. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite the Advocate General, Dr. Birendra Saraf, to address the gathering.
Honorable Justice Abhay, Justice Prashant Varale, Honorable Chief Justice Shri Alok Aradhe, Honorable Justice A.P. Shah, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna, Justice Gokhale, learned judges of our court. There are a galaxy of former judges and Chief Justice. I will not be able to name all of them. So the former judges and Chief Justices of our court, Mr. Anil Singh, the Additional Solicitor General, Mr. Pasbola, the Chairman of the Bar Council, Mr. Relekar and Mr. Sabrad, the President and Secretary of AAWI, the office bearers of AAWI, members of the registry, senior advocates, my fellow lawyers, ladies and gentlemen. We assemble today to felicitate someone very special, someone who's really an epitome of discipline, hard work, and commitment to the cause of justice, Justice Abhay. I had the privilege of seeing Justice Oak as a lawyer, and I can say with certainty that over the years he has not changed at all. He looks just the same, as young as ever, and remains the same in his thoroughness, his industry, his discipline, and his devotion to work. We were fortunate to appear before him as juniors at the bar, and what we are today as lawyers or advocates is a result of judges like Justice Oak, who encouraged us. Incidentally, we are also privileged to have Justice A.P. Shah, Justice Sri Krishna, Justice Gokhale, who equally encouraged us, and we all today are a product of their indulgence and their encouragement. Appearing before Justice Oak was always a very unique experience. I mean, before you could open up your case, a voice came from the dais, turn to page number so and so. And somehow, invariably, it used to be something which I had missed. He had already read the brief on his way to Thane in the car and maybe late in the night. And it reminded me of the famous words of Henry Longfellow when he said that the heights by great men reached and kept are not attained by a magic behind this. And as Bard does a little inquiry, we all did the inquiry with his chopdars and all, and came to know that he finishes his lunch in 10 minutes and thereafter reads the production papers. So unique is such a person who has dedicated every moment of his life with a tireless and relentless passion to the cause of justice, who really felt the pain of the litigants who were in a queue, who had knocked the court, doors of the court seeking justice. And he tried everything within his means to ensure that their cases could be heard and justice could be delivered to them without delay. Passion is really what defines the life and career of Justice Oak. He is, in the true sense, a karma yogi to whom work is worship. And in this pursuit of his, nothing could obstruct or delay him. He would neither bend nor break. The whole nation knows him as a bold and fearless judge. Well, his name itself is Abhay, which means fearless. And he lived a life true to that. Who would fight and remove every obstacle in the cause of justice, whether it came from the executive, the legislature, or even within the judiciary itself. He minced no words to criticize the judiciary also, and often said that there is a need for introspection within the judiciary itself. Justice Oak believed in developing institutions at every level, right from improving legal education by participating in the administration of law colleges. I've seen how hard he has worked as a chancellor of the Maharashtra National Law University, Aurangabad, and how he has been participant in its growth as a robust institution of legal education. He encouraged and inspired law students to take up litigation, and often he has spoken about it, and he even participated in various activities of the Bar Council and encouraged lawyers to take up pro bono work. He worked on developing infrastructures of the court and also the district judiciary. So he has really participated in development of institutions at every stage, right from legal education onwards. He has participated in developing every institution which would be contributory to the dispensation of justice. And as an administrator, Justice Oak's contribution as the Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court is known to all. He laid great emphasis on the development of court infrastructure. Speak to any member of the legal fraternity in Karnataka, and they will tell you of the transformational changes which Justice Oak brought about as the Chief Justice of that court. And I distinctly have one photograph really kind of glued in my memory of Justice Oak standing behind a Group 4 employee who was the senior most attendant of a district court, whom Justice Oak requested to inaugurate the court complex of the new district court. And that was not just a symbolic thing. It was a message to each one of them that every person is an equal contributory in the institution which dispenses justice. And that is the kind of leadership he displayed at the Karnataka High Court. And even as the judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Oak actively participated in various administrative committees. He headed the committee relating to translation of judgments, where I used to attend meetings. And he used to call the advocate generals of every state, the representative judges of every state, discuss with them the difficulties, ensure that funds are made available by the state government, regularly take an update. And this is only one of the committees which I know. I used to attend meetings, and therefore, even in the administrative side in the Supreme Court, he took such great interest with such passion. As a judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Oak came out as a fierce protector of civil liberties. His judgments in criminal law repeatedly emphasized on the protection of the rights of accused and prisoners. And in every judgment of his, you could see a sense of compassion and empathy for the marginalized, the disadvantaged sections of the society. Sir, you have set standards which will be difficult to meet, but which will always be a guiding light and inspiration to everyone in the legal profession. You have touched the lives of innumerable people by your sense of justice. Sir, as you prepare to lay down your robes, you carry with you the heartfelt gratitude of every member of the legal fraternity and the blessings of the litigants whom you rendered justice. I have no doubt that maybe in a different role, you will continue to guide and inspire the legal fraternity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Saraf, for expressing the profound feelings of the audience so aptly. Thank you. I now request the Additional Solicitor General, Shri Anil Singh, to say a few words.
Honorable Justice Abhay, Justice Prasanna Varale, Honorable Justice A.P. Shah, Honorable Judges of Bombay High Court, former Supreme Court Judges, former Judges of Bombay High Court, the Advocate General for Maharashtra, Shri Birendra Saraf, Chairman of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Pasbola, President and Secretary of AAWI, members of the bar, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have gathered not just to celebrate a stellar legal mind, but to pay tribute to a journey marked by determination, hard work, integrity, and unwavering commitment to justice. Justice Abhay Oak's story is one of perseverance that has shaped the very fabric of Indian jurisprudence. Though Justice Oak took initial education in the field of science, since there was an atmosphere of law at home, his interest automatically turned towards the field of law. Justice Oak is a third-generation lawyer in his family. After being enrolled as an advocate in Mumbai, like many great jurists before him, he started at the grassroots, practicing in Thane District Court under the guidance of his father, Shri Srinivas Oak, and later joined the chambers of the then senior counsel, Shri V.P. Tipnis, who later became the judge of this honorable court, where he expanded his legal expertise in the court. Justice Oak's father, Shri Srinivas Oak, popularly known as Anna Sahib, was a renowned advocate practicing in Thane district. However, the day on which Justice Oak took a charge as a judge of Bombay High Court, late Anna Sahib stopped practicing in court, a moment that speaks volumes, the pride and respect he held for his son's achievement. Remarkably, I do not recall Justice Oak ever taking a leave, even a single day from the court, during his tenure as a judge of the Bombay High Court. During the period when his father was hospitalized, I remember, Justice Oak demonstrated extraordinary dedication. He would finish his work in the High Court, spend the nights at the hospital caring for his father, and return to the court the next day morning, a routine he maintained until his father's demise, except for the day of funeral. Otherwise, he was regularly in the court. Such is the measure of his immense commitment. As judge, Justice Oak treated everyone with equal respect, without any consideration of face value. He treated juniors and seniors advocates alike, and he would personally read case briefs at home and ensure that he was always ready and prepared on all the matters which was listed on the board. Justice Oak's rise in the judiciary was steady yet profound. Presiding as a judge of the Bombay High Court, he authored numerous landmark judgments, especially those concerning environmental protection, civic governance, and rights of marginalized. His tenure was marked by bold decision and upheld constitutional values, setting judicial precedent that continue to shape the legal discourse. In 2019, Justice Oak took a new challenge as a Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court. His leadership during COVID-19 pandemic was commendable, ensuring that the judiciary remained accessible by reducing holidays and enabling hearing via video conferencing to compensate for lost time. Under his watch, Karnataka saw key rulings on civil liberties, including his notable judgment in Vijay Kumar KN versus State of Karnataka, declaring that good roads are a fundamental rights, and the decision that sent ripples through administrative corridors. Reminding civic authorities that governance is about public welfare and not bureaucratic convenience. During his tenure as a Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, the High Court became a constitutional shield for the protection of the rights of many marginalized communities, including slum dwellers, sweepers, prisoners, and transgender persons. Justice Oak has taken several important steps in shaping the careers of young lawyers. He has remained present in nearly every program organized by the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, where he delivered numerous lectures on building successful legal careers. Justice Oak has introduced various reforms, guided many aspiring advocates towards judicial roles, and participated in several training programs organized by various bar associations, including the Bar Council. As an administrative judge of the Bombay High Court, I recollect when he was an administrative judge of Mumbai. He personally visited almost all the bar associations in Mumbai. In fact, when I was a bar council chairman at that time, I accompanied him in almost all the bar associations, where he personally monitored the infrastructures of the court in Mumbai. A subject very close to his heart is the new building of Bombay High Court. We all know Justice Oak has played a very important role in allotment of the plot for the High Court building at Birendra. As a judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Oak continued his legacy of meticulous legal reasoning and judicial independence. His view on religious freedoms and judgments on workers' rights and constitutional disputes reaffirm his deep understanding of law role in shaping society. Whether safeguarding Anganwadi workers' rights under the Payment of Gratuity Act or examining complex matrimonial law interpretation, his judgments are not only just a legal decision, but also a blueprint for a more just society. Justice Oak has always been an advocate of transparent and technology-driven society, the judiciary. In a recent judgment of Arun HUF versus Evcon Arcade premises, Justice Oak has clarified the nature of inquiry and power of DDR in relation to deemed conveyance. The matter recognizing the fact that Maharashtra Flat and Ownership Act and its significant provisions are for the benefit of the flat purchasers under the Maharashtra Flat and Ownership Act. This judgment is being cited in all DDR matters before the Bombay High Court nowadays. A judge's legacy is not measured by number of judgment he authors or benches he presides, but by the impact of his work. Justice Oak contribution has shaped lives, refined laws, and ensured that justice remains an unwavering force. Justice Oak, today we are not only honoring your career, we celebrate your journey. A journey defined by courage, wisdom, and an unyielding commitment to justice. May your insights continue to illuminate the path for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now invite today's guest of honor, Justice Ajit Shah, former Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, to share his thoughts with us.
Justice Abhay Oak, Mrs. Anuja Oak, Justice Prasanna Varale, Chief Justice Alok Aradhe, Mr. Birendra Saraf, Mr. Anil Singh, Mr. Pasbola, Mr. Prashant Relekar, Mr. Suresh Sabrad, judges, members of the bar, and ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all of you. I'm delighted to have been invited by the Advocates Association of Western India to mark the illustrious career of Justice Oak, whom I have known for many years. The role of a judge is unique and demanding, and on retirement, it is natural to reflect on the whole of a judge's career. Such reflection is not unwarranted, for a judge occupies a position of significant public trust, wielding considerable power. This power, though, is more like a duty to uphold constitutional ideals. The Constitution, too, is much more than just a legal framework. It is also an idea and an ideal, the idea that certain normative principles guide governance, and the ideal that these normative principles are a moral compass for our nation. A judge has to ensure this idea and ideals become tangible norms that shape our society. Such norms include upholding rights and freedoms, protecting the vulnerable, giving a voice to the voiceless, empowering the marginalized, and holding the powerful accountable. But this Constitution that judges uphold is also a living document, flexible and open to interpretation. This means that inevitably, individual perspectives of judges, their social outlook, or their commitment to the ethical framework of the constitutional polity impact how these norms get formed and implemented. To dedicate one's life to being a judge is a profound responsibility. This path comes with its burdens and can even be arduous, for it often involves confronting those in positions of authority. The office of a judge is also an endowment of power by the Constitution. It is earned by a commitment to norm setting. It is the power to regulate other kinds of power flowing through the system. The oath that a judge takes is to enforce norms without fear or favor. By nature, it is a role that demands at once intellectual rigor, unwavering integrity, and a deep commitment to fairness. Personally, I first understood what being a judge meant during the emergency in the early days of my practice at the Bombay Bar. Politically, the bar was alive. Bombay Bar Association on the original side and the Advocates Association of Western India on the appellate side. To be more accurate, it was not political because of ideological alignment, but in the sense of being active and vocal on important issues such as the free speech or independence of judiciary. Early in the emergency, a retired judge, Justice Nathwani, called for a meeting where Chief Justice Chagla was also a speaker. After the police banned the meeting, a petition was filed, which was signed by 130 lawyers, including Mr. Fali Nariman, Mr. Soli Surabji, Mr. Ashok Desai, and others. This came before a bench of Chief Justice Kantawala and Justice Rudapurkar. Neither hesitated to hear the matter, even though it meant taking on the might of a powerful executive. Mr. Palkhewala argued for the petitioner. It was electrifying. The petition was allowed, and the meeting was eventually held. But the judgment lost significance because of the ADM Jabalpur, which came soon later. Nevertheless, this case etched in my mind what it meant to be a judge in the face of raw political power. It also bears particularly uncomfortable relevance today in an area of a strong government, not just in India, where sweeping powers are the flavor of the season. Today, we face a multitude of challenges. Free speech is under threat, civil liberties are in peril, and minorities are being suppressed. Even judges are under attack now. In a completely unjustified polemic, high political functionaries in the country have targeted the Supreme Court for having imposed time limits for deciding on bills and testing the new law. I might remind these persons that it has long been settled that it is the Constitution that is supreme, not Parliament. A bare reading of the Constitution will show that the Supreme Court has all the power to stay or quash any law or action if it is found violative of the Constitution. Also, in the context of matters presently under debate, I am of the view that timelines are necessary because lawless governors wreak havoc on constitutional principles. This attack is not merely unjustified, it has unfortunately even descended to vicious personal attacks. We haven't seen matters like these in such intensity for a long time. Today, the oath of a judge is being tested in such incredibly changing conditions, and this is where judges like Justice Oak have left an indelible mark for peers and successors. I must add that I rarely express this, but I am genuinely honored to be here today to mark Justice Oak's retirement. I first knew him as a younger colleague at the bar. Even then, his calm, articulate, and meticulously prepared submissions left lasting impressions. He possesses an exceptional legal mind. His presentation style was clear and unruffled, and he invested immense efforts in all cases, regardless of complexity. He was elevated in the Bombay High Court in 2003, became Judge of Karnataka High Court in 2019, and finally a Judge of Supreme Court in 2021. In his career spanning nearly 22 years, he has remained true to the mission of judgeship and built a judicial legacy which anyone in the profession would be envious of. Justice Oak's decisions stand out in many ways. He does not, like some other judges, rely on public lectures or speeches to make his point. His decisions are loud and clear enough in themselves. They demonstrate that he is forthright and unafraid. One thing of particular note is that, remarkably, despite never having been known as a criminal lawyer, he has, through sheer hard work and intellectual rigor, established a significant body of criminal jurisprudence. Many judges in India, unfortunately today, have fallen into the custom of speaking a majoritarian language, referring to parts of a city as mini Pakistan, invoking the Manusmriti, and attacking minority communities publicly, brazenly, and in the vilest of words are only some of examples of what judges have said and done in recent times. In contrast, this court has a rich history of judges who have stood firm in difficult times, confronting powerful ministries and governments. And one can safely say that Justice Oak has truly upheld that tradition. His unwavering support for free speech, an increasingly rare commodity, is a cornerstone of his jurisprudence. In India today, where throwaway lines on social media or 30 seconds viral clips by comedians are subjected to the wrath of draconian criminal laws, Justice Oak, along with Justice Ujjwal Bhuyan, while quashing a criminal case against an MP for inciting discord through a poem on suffering injustice with love, perceptively said, even if large number of persons dislike the views expressed by another, the right of person to express the views must be respected and protected. Here I recall Justice Venkatramaya, who said that if a hierarchy of constitutional rights exists, the right to free speech and expression stands at the apex of all fundamental rights. This right is non-negotiable. In a climate where dissenting voices are easily branded anti-national, Justice Oak has been a vocal defender of free speech. In a pointed reference to a defamation case slapped on a comedian recently, this same judgment noted, free expression of thoughts and views is an integral part of a healthy civilized society. Without it, it is impossible to lead a dignified life guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution. Literature, including poetry, drama, art, satire, enriches life. 75 years into our republic, we cannot be seen to be so shaky on our fundamentals that mere recital of a poem, any part of our entertainment, such as stand-up comedy, can be alleged to lead to animosity or hatred amongst different communities. Justice Oak's interventions have been truly extraordinary. His concerns extend to other cases too, like criminal justice. In a recent Ashok Desai Memorial Lecture, he articulated systemic problems, particularly inequitable treatment. It was a treat to hear him. But as I said earlier, he does not fall back on public appearances to make his point. It is through his decisions, a judge's most powerful tool, where he has addressed the misuse of laws like the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act UAPA and the Prevention of Money Laundering Act PMLA. In a recent case, his bench observed that liberty cannot be withheld as a part of punishment. It said the more serious an offense and less likely the chances of bail, such as under PMLA and UAPA, the more important speedy trial was. Separately, in Tarsem Lal, a bench of Justice Oak and Justice Bhuyan said that the enforcement director has no power to arrest an individual after special court has taken the cognizance of the case. Again, the court clarified that a criminal's custody must felicitate investigation. Custody cannot be a punishment for an under trial. Very few judges in recent times have been able to say this out loud. Justice Oak in particular has shown the courage, the clarity and conviction with which he can take on the mighty executive in cases of abuse of process. In these times, ladies and gentlemen, rule of law is undermined in significant ways, such as through false encounters, encounter killings, bulldozer justice, and even disparate treatment depending on your status and connections. Here I recall the contrasting fates of journalist Arnab Goswami, whose petition was heard by a special bench on a Saturday, whereas Siddiq Kampan struggled to get relief from the Supreme Court for almost 2 years. Justice Oak stands out conspicuously in contrast, committed to upholding rights of all citizens, regardless of background or beliefs. His decisions and orders in other areas are also significant. For example, his orders on environmental protection and better living conditions in Bengaluru, Mumbai, and Delhi. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he was among few judges who focused on the rights of migrant workers, questioning the government's handling of the situation. His body of work is not only prolific, but meaningful and relevant. He is also widely regarded as one of the most hard-working judges. His judicial skill set includes a rare quality. While some judges may pretend to grant a relief or make a show of being helpful, their decisions are often inadequate or confusing. In contrast, while Justice Oak's language may not always be flowery, his thinking is exceptionally clear, precise, and fair. His approach reminds me of the words of Mr. Nariman that lofty unwavering courage and deep commitments to the Constitution. A judge must be able to stand firm against pressure, to resist the allure of popular opinion, and to speak truth to power. It requires empathy for the marginalized, a clear understanding of the law, and the fortitude to apply it impartially. Anticipate even greater contribution from him. Thank you.
Sir, I thank you for your enlightening words, and I wish that we all could have an open session with you for a mesmerizing evening today, but we all have reasonable restrictions today. May I now request our Honorable the Chief Justice Shri Alok Aradhe, who presides over today's function, to give his presidential speech, the Chief Justice.
Honorable Mr. Justice Abhay Oak, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Prashant B. Varale, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Ajit P. Shah, former Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Mr. Justice Syed, former Chief Justice of Himachal Pradesh, Mr. Justice Dinesh Kumar, former Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, Mr. Anil Singh, Additional Solicitor General of India, Dr. Birendra, Saraf, Advocate General for the State of Maharashtra, Mr. Sudeep Pasbola, Chairman, Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Mr. Relekar, President, Advocates Association of Western India, office bearers of all the associations, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, Mrs. Anuja Oak and family members of Justice Oak, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening to all of you. We have assembled here to felicitate and honor Mr. Justice Abhay Shri Oak, a well-known towering personality in legal circles. Speaking about him in a short span of time is an attempt to do the impossible. This occasion gives us an opportunity to reflect on Justice Oak's journey and his invaluable contribution and profound impact on legal system. Justice Oak belongs to a well-known illustrious family from Thane. Justice Oak was a student of MH High School in Thane. After completing his school education, his lordship contemplated a career in engineering, but ultimately chose the path of law, a decision that proved to be of tremendous gain for legal profession. Justice Oak joined the chambers of his senior, late Justice V.P. Tipnis. He showed the same dedication, zest, and zeal towards the work which we see even today. Justice Oak, as an advocate, was actively supporting in every possible way a school in Dombivli meant for differently abled and mentally challenged children. He, along with his friends, regularly visited nearby areas during the weekends to spread literacy and awareness among the downtrodden. He was a sought-after counsel and excelled in diverse legal domains. Justice Oak was elevated as judge of this court in the year 2003. As a judge of this court, Justice Oak never opted for an official accommodation and continued to reside in his personal flat in Thane. He even instructed security personnel not to come anywhere close to society premises so that the members of the society should not be inconvenienced. During his father's illness, Justice Oak would be by his side throughout the night, attending to him, and would read the matters for the next day. Justice Oak works tirelessly but never looks tired. During my brief stint here, I am a witness to the legacy left behind by his lordship. His judgments are referred to every now and then, maybe in respect of protection of mangroves, illegal construction, noise pollution, and illegal hoardings, or even improving the conditions of the roads of city of Mumbai and so on. Justice Oak was my Chief Justice in Karnataka High Court. During COVID times, he led the institution from the front without compromising the health and safety of the judges, lawyers, staff and litigants. His Lordship ensured that there was minimal disruption in the functioning of the court. As a Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court, in a heart-warming gesture, His Lordship extended a warm welcome to a staff member by offering him a rose who reported for work after recovery from COVID at the portico of the High Court. Justice Oak is known to be a fearless crusader of justice with a sound intellect and steadfast principles whose judgments have not only shaped the legal discourses but have strengthened the foundation of justice. We have seen his unwavering commitment to the cause of justice as a judge of Supreme Court of India as well. During his tenure, he has worked tirelessly to achieve the highest standard of judicial excellence. His ever-pleasing demeanor, coupled with ability to motivate and encourage, has left an indelible mark on all who have the privilege of working alongside him. On a personal note, his presence has been one of warmth, encouragement, and companionship. He has enriched the judicial community with dignity, patience, and unwavering dedication. He has enriched the legal profession through numerous insightful lectures and topics such as ethics in the legal profession, pathways to legal excellence, and Article 32, history and future. On behalf of my colleagues of Bombay High Court, as well as my own behalf, I extend best wishes to him. May his pursuits continue to benefit the legal system, and may he be blessed with good health, happiness, and many fulfilling years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord. May I now invite today's guest of honor, Shri Justice Prasanna B. Varale, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to address the august gathering.
Honorable Sri Justice Abhay, Honorable the Chief Justice Bombay High Court, and my former colleague, my friend Alok Aradhe, Honorable Sri Justice A.P. Shah, the dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries of the dais. Well, after hearing Justice Shah Saab's speech, I don't think anybody can add any more word to it, and how nicely he described the life and journey of Honorable Sri Justice Oak, sir. Well, Mr. Relekar referred to, and I can only just say that, borrowing the words from Sant Jnaneshwar, that when you have, in his words, Pradnyavantanchi Mandiyali, the dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, and when the portraits of the greatest of the greats are in front of you, you only feel how small you are in front of them. I am thankful to the Bar Association for giving me this opportunity to be part of this function. the felicitation and celebration of the journey of Honorable Shri Justice Abhay. Well, for me, personally speaking, Shri Justice Oak sir and Justice Shah sir, for me they are my guide, philosopher, teachers, and Sant Kabir ji says, वहाँ घर सबसे प्यारा जहाँ है गुरु का बसेरा. When the teachers are here in their own karma bhumi, I think this is the best place one can think for, and I am privileged. I thank Bar Association, the Western India Association, for giving me an opportunity to be part of this function. I can just add to what the earlier speaker said. We all respect Honorable Justice Oak sir for the unwavering commitment following, maintaining the constitutional values boldly, courageously. I think that is what is most needed in these times, and the reference made by Shri Shah Sahab to the decisions of Honorable Shri Justice Oak sir, they are really the path, they showing us the path, and these personalities, Justice Oak sir is a lighthouse for all of us. The Advocate General Shri Saraf ji said that he wondered how Justice Oak can keep himself tirelessly focused on his discharging the duty of delivering the justice. I think this is something what in Bhagavad Gita referred to. The words are Ya Nisha Bhuta Sarvanam Jagrati Sanyamite The. So this is how Gita says, when the word is fast asleep, the knowledgeable, the courageous, the person who is showing part to this society, he is always awake to do this. And Justice Oak is like that Sanyami who is always awake and showing us the path. I think that though a part of his journey is concluding at this stage, but then there is another canvas, a sky open to him, and I am sure that normally while looking at Justice Oka sir, we feel that he is very disciplined and is very serious person, but he is also, in Marathi what we say, he is mishkil one-liner sometimes, just make us laugh, and the atmosphere becomes so lively. So with his interest in law, interest in other subjects apart from law, I am sure that he will make the second innings also equally wonderful. I thank Vahini ji for full support to our Oak sir, standing with him shoulder to shoulder. मराठीतला शब्द फार छान आहे. इंग्रजीत बेटर हाफ म्हणतो, मराठीत आपण सहधर्मचारिणी म्हणतो. मला वाटतं त्या शब्दाचा योग्य अर्थ वहिनींनी आम्हाला दाखवलेला आहे. थँक्स वहिनी. Once again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I don't want to stand between you and Justice Oak sir. Thank you.
Thank you, my Lord Justice Varale. Now we come to the most awaited part of today's function, the felicitation of my Lord Justice Abhay Oak. Sir, we are really honored to felicitate you with a Sanman Patra, which now will be conferred at the hands of our President Shri Prashant Relekar and my Lord Justice Ajit Shah after I read the Sanman Patra to all of you. The Advocates Association of Western India proudly confers this Sanman Patra upon Hon'ble Shri Justice Abhay Oak, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Your Lordship's elevation in 2003 as a Judge of the Bombay High Court, followed by your appointment as the Chief Justice of the Karnataka High Court in 2019, and subsequently as a Judge of the Supreme Court of India on 31st of August 2021, has brought immense pride to the Advocates Association of Western India. These milestones have added a glorious chapter to the history of our association, as your Lordship was a valued member of AAWI during your illustrious practice at the Bombay High Court from 1983 to 2003. During nearly 2 decades as a practicing lawyer, your Lordship's dedication, diligence, extraordinary command over the law, profound sense of social responsibility and exceptional advocacy skills made you one of the most sought-after lawyers at the Bombay High Court. As a judge of the Bombay High Court, your Lordship was widely regarded as one of the most impactful and ideal judges. Your keen interest in constitutional law, environmental law, town planning laws, and the rights of persons with disabilities, as well as your unwavering commitment to the rule of law, speedy justice, and alternative dispute resolution was reflected in numerous landmark and path-breaking judgments. As a judge of the Supreme Court of India, your Lordship's steadfast commitment to constitutional values, equity, fairness, and justice continues to serve as a guiding light for the entire nation. Your contribution has further enriched the prestige of the Supreme Court. Your insistence on the independence of the judiciary and your inspiration to countless young legal minds are deeply appreciated. Your guidance to law students and young lawyers is truly commendable. Your Lordship's felicitation in this historic Central Hall, both as a member of AAWI and as a distinguished judge of the Bombay High Court, is a moment of great pride and honor for all of us. The AAWI and the legal fraternity of Maharashtra shall remain forever indebted to your Lordship for your lion's share in shaping the Indian judiciary. Your contribution will always be remembered as a golden chapter in the annals of Indian legal history. Your Lordship, we are honored and privileged to present to you this Sanman Patra. May I now request Justice Oak to address this gathering. Sir, we are all eagerly waiting for your words of wisdom, knowledge, and also inspiration to members of the bar. Justice Oak.
My friend and colleague in the Supreme Court, Justice Prasanna Varale, Justice Alok Aradhe, Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, sister and brother judges of the Bombay High Court, Justice Ajit Shah, whom we fondly call as Ajit Bhai, retired Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, retired judges of the Bombay High Court and my former colleagues, the Advocate General of Maharashtra, the Additional Solicitor General for Maharashtra, the President of the Advocates Association of Western India, office bearers, the President of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, and members of the bar who are present in such large numbers. The organizers, namely the office bearers of the AAWI, gave me a shock. I was not aware that my dear members of the family are invited and my dear old friends are invited. My brother, my sister-in-law, my dear friends, my cousin, it was a real shock to me and such a pleasant surprise, of course. Yesterday, today was Friday, you know what struggle happens in Supreme Court. As usual, yesterday at 11:15, my secretary came in my office and he was worried. He said, sir, I think I have committed a mistake. I said, what happened? He said, normally when you speak, you dictate some points. My practice is not to have written speech, but you dictate some points. And today you have not done that. So I told him that it will be very difficult for me to speak in this function. Therefore, I decided not to dictate anything. I felt today, of course, today's day in Supreme Court, you know, early morning the day starts, and today was additional burden for me to quickly finish the miscellaneous board and to travel to Mumbai. I thought that in plane, I could jot down few points. I could not do it because there was a gentleman sitting next to me who was known to me and he had so many questions and awkward questions to ask about judiciary. Then I found time in journey from airport to Sarang guest house. I jotted down few points. Firstly, I must compliment AAWI for holding this function in the memory of Dr. Panduranga Vaman Kani. Very few who are present here will know he was the first practicing advocate who was conferred highest honor of Bharat Ratna. I have to speak on various things, but only one memory which I have. Justice Bhattacharya ji was our Chief Justice of Bombay High Court. One of the greatest lawyers which appellate side bar has produced, Mr. M.A. Rani, was arguing a point on Hindu law. He was relying upon Mullah and all other commentaries. Chief Justice was very new. So he said, Mr. Rani, I am shocked. You are from Bombay High Court, rely upon Hindu Dharma Shastra by Dr. Kani and don't rely upon all these books. At that time, first time I heard name of Dr. Kani and then I realized that road between High Court and Bank of India building is named after him. So it was a great gesture. I cannot describe my happiness when I am back in Bombay High Court. On 29th of August 2003, in this very hall, I was administered oath of office by the then Chief Justice C.K. Thakkar. Most of the younger lawyers will be surprised that in those days, photography was prohibited. So there is no photograph taken of me taking oath here. And I had those memories of sitting with Justice C.K. Thakkar in this court hall on vendors' days, which used to be public interest litigation days. It was such a learning experience for me to share bench with Justice Thakkar. I believe in December 2003 or January 2004, we celebrated 125 years of existence of this building. I was sitting very much in this court when I saw some activity here. I saw some photographers taking photograph, which was unheard of. Court was functioning. So I told Chief Judge, I said, Chief, look at what is happening. Such a great judge, such a great human being. He said, Brother Oak, left to myself, I would not have allowed this. But I have constituted a committee of very distinguished judges of the Bombay High Court to deal with this function to commemorate 125 years of existence of building, and they have taken a decision. So I am not thinking about retirement. So much of work is happening in my office, so many judgments to be delivered, so many matters are to be heard. And therefore, I don't want to even refer to the word retirement. And I know how it feels. Just one memory. 30th of April 2019, I was sitting in court hall number 49, occupied by J1, senior most judge, with dear colleague, Justice Manoj Sanklecha. We used to sit till 6 o'clock also, but there was some administrative committee meeting. So 5:30, I came back to chamber. Then Secretary to the Chief Justice entered the chamber and he said, "Sir, today President of India has signed warrant appointing you as Chief Justice of Karnataka High Court." Then I had to sign so many administrative files. By 9 o'clock I left. It was such a terrible feeling when I walked across the corridor down to the portico that I will never get opportunity to walk through these corridors and to sit in those beautiful courtrooms of Bombay High Court. So I know what one feels when the time comes to depart. And very interesting thing which I want to share, some of you may not believe in today's world, that from the date of recommendation made by the Supreme Court Collegium, my appointment came in only 21 days. I don't think I have to elaborate on this. What I feel is, personally feel is, coming to the, reading the files, coming to the court, at least under the impression that you are well prepared to deal with the matters before you, sitting in the court, hearing the lawyers and deciding cases. I don't think the thrill associated with this process, the pleasure and satisfaction associated with this process, you will not find anywhere in the world. And that is the part of, that is the beauty of our job. Of course, I said, hearing the members of the bar, somebody may have dispute whether I heard the members of the bar, but today is not the day to discuss that. But I believed in one thing. I remember after I became judge, I thought that I'll pay respect to one of the most renowned judges of the Bombay High Court and Supreme Court, Justice V.D. Tulsapurkar. I never met him, I never knew him. I just called him up and I said, "Sir, I want to come and pay respects to you." I met him. I don't know how many of you had occasion to hear him, the way he used to speak, inside the court and outside the court. He told me in one sentence, "Mr. Oak, please remember," he said in Marathi, of course, "you have not become just to become popular." And that is one message which I have followed to the hilt. I always believed that a judge has to be very firm, very strict, and very disciplined in the court. And mind you, sometimes harsh also. That is the way you perform and discharge your duties as judge of the Constitutional Court. I always believe that as a judge, you should not be worried if somebody gets offended, the way you conduct yourself in the court or by your judgments. This is the way one has to discharge his duties as judge of the Constitutional Court. Recently, I had occasion to participate in one function. Brother Justice Gautam Patel was the comparer, Professor Upendra Bakshi. There was interaction with Professor Upendra Bakshi. Brother Gautam asked him a question: what are the ideal qualities of a judge? In split second he answered, spine, spine and spine. And perhaps, I think it was live on YouTube that perhaps he gave a strong message to today's judicial fraternity. I always believed that for me, Bombay High Court was the best law school in our country. There was so much to learn here as a lawyer, so much to learn here as judges. Those who attended my court, I always tell very distinguished members of the bar in Supreme Court what basics of advocacy I learned in Bombay High Court. Sometimes I tell them that it's very unfortunate that sitting in Apex Court, I have to say this. Simple things. One important lesson I learned, I am not going to take those names. Some senior member of the bar told me to seek adjournment. I mentioned the case at 2 o'clock in those days, 2 to 2:45 was the recess. The request was promptly rejected. I was called to the bar by the very distinguished senior member of the bar. He said, "Young man, you have committed biggest mistake. For recess, the most awkward time to mention. And you realize that only after you become judge." So I tell this every day to the members of the bar. This is the first lesson I learned, because in Supreme Court at 1 o'clock, so many people are waiting to mention. The second lesson, again given to me, firstly by my senior and then 2 or 3 very distinguished members of the bar, and which I want to tell today because I see so many young faces here. The second message was that, rightly or wrongly, if the judge feels that you had said something which is wrong or you have committed a mistake, at the outset, first opportunity, say sorry. Never hesitate to do that. And the seniors told me, you may not like the judge, but when you say sorry to the institution of judiciary. And say, the message was, only one sentence I will say this, because I have experienced that great pleasure of appearing before him, especially in real jurisdiction. I think in 2015 he was appointed as Chief Justice of Madras High Court. There was a function in bar, I don't know which bar. We were having tea. One young member of the how to mold a relief to ensure that justice is done without compromising on the law of precedent. And most importantly, he made me write large number of judgments. And that is where I started writing large number of judgments. And I was so delighted when Mr. Sabrad told me that they want to invite Justice Ajit Shah as the chief guest. I agreed, not because I hold him great esteem, high esteem, and I consider him as my mentor. I was sure that he will say something today in presence of august members of the bar, which only he is capable of saying. And he has said that. Being sitting judge, I have my own constraints. But I compliment Ajit Bhai for that. Two things which I want to say. Earlier speaker said that I am a jurist. I disagree. You don't become jurist by working as a judge for 20 years or 22 years. Jurists are totally different. Perhaps so many adjectives were used about me to describe me, so many compliments were given to me. But I must say that I always realized my shortcomings. And only thing which I did was, I made an honest attempt to overcome my shortcomings by working very hard. And as a judge, I always believe that you should always introspect, find out where you are going wrong. Unless you do that, you will never succeed as a judge. Second thing, I will disagree. Somebody talked about legacy of the judges. I don't think. We judges work for a few years. The institution is so big. We are here for a very short time. I don't think we are capable of leaving our legacy. What we leave is our judgments, which may be right, which may be wrong, which may be in future generation judges will overrule. So I always believe that we the judges should not talk about our legacy. We are not that great that somebody should say about our legacy. Before I want to say so many things. I'll try to be very brief. I want to highlight the glorious traditions of this bar, AAWI, Bombay Bar Association, Incorporated Law Society. I see the difference after I went to Delhi. These associations have always voiced protest when there was attack on independence of judiciary. As young member of the bar, I will never forget that image which is in my mind. Late Mr. BP Apte presiding over meeting of AAWI in room number 36, which was fully crowded, and the resolution was passed expressing doubt about conduct of 4 judges of the Supreme Court, 4 judges of the Bombay High Court. Only Bombay Bar could have done this. Of course, original side took the same stand. Thereafter, Bar took a stand protesting against a Chief Justice of this court. As late as in 2017, when there was attack on independence of judiciary, Bar members stood up within 48 hours. I will not say much because it has some relation with my functioning as a judge. The point is, this bar has stood for the independence of judiciary, and today's address by Ajit Bhai, I am sure that younger members of bar will be inspired to go a little ahead and take a stand. Another important feature of Bombay Bar is this bar never passed resolution calling upon members to boycott the courts. It is so important for me. I see that happening in every nook and corner of India. Sitting in Bombay, I must have issued contempt notice to almost 10 or 15 bar associations in the district. I had to do that in Karnataka again. In Supreme Court, I had to do that in case of 4 or 5 High Court bar associations. But this is one bar association which will never give opportunity to any judges to do that. But I firmly believe that younger members of the bar must pick up from where our greats have left. If the bar association don't take the stand, independence of judiciary will not survive. I have said on many public platforms, which I again want to repeat before younger members of the bar, I always believed. I said so on so many platforms when we are celebrating 75 years of existence of our constitution, that members of the judiciary must always introspect. We can't keep on saying that common man has great faith in us. We need to introspect. We need to find out, always find out, whether what was expected of us from the constitution. Common man had great expectations from judiciary in independent India, whether we have fulfilled those expectations. We have to be always on guard. We have to always keep on thinking. I always believe that our judgments can be criticized or should be criticized, but in constructive way. Some members of the bar, I saw some of the postings on social media shown by my law clerks and others. A judgment is delivered in the morning at 10:30, pronounced at 10:30. Members of the bar are willing to offer comment about that judgment at 2:30. I strongly believe that every citizen of India has a right to criticize our judgments. But please criticize it, not by saying that I don't like this judgment, but please say how we have legally gone wrong, or how better we could have written a judgment. Because Justice Shah rightly referred to about the attacks on the judiciary. Personally speaking, I always believe that we should not bother about what is said about the judges, because for only one reason. We have adequate power and capacity to reply to this criticism by doing our judicial work. And that's the best reply members of the judicial fraternity can give to the criticism. I always tell young members of the bar, other day I had open house in one of the leading law schools. same topic, every young law student wanted to ask me, why can't we criticize judiciary? I said, please do criticize the judiciary, but constructively. And while you do so, please remember that we follow constraint, we don't reply to the criticism against the judiciary. But of course, in Marathi, there is a say, all of you must have heard, Nindagache ghar asave shedari. Therefore, such criticism does help us to introspect. And therefore, I always believe that we as judges should take up this criticism very sportingly. Our shoulders are broad enough to take such criticism. We can't get provoked by any criticism of judges, and even for that matter, members of the bar. And that is where the bar associations have to play a very important role. I come back to what I said. Bombay High Court, for me, is a great law school. And I must thank all my Chief Justices. I want to thank them for something different. My Chief Justice ensured that in Bombay High Court, I handle each and every category of matters, maybe original side, maybe appellate side, maybe criminal side. I was just talking to my law clerks the other day. I said perhaps only one category of case which I did not decide was death sentence reference. Once it was assigned to me, but somehow all the matters were adjourned. I must thank the Chief Justices. I remember in 2005, we were about to close for May vacation, and in those days, very healthy tradition was followed that before we close for vacation, the next roster is to be notified 1 week in advance. That was a very healthy tradition. Chief Justice Bhandari called me and he said, "Arey, brother, we have a long way to go. So from June, I am giving you bail roster. And I will not withdraw that roster for 2 complete sessions." It was a shock for me because I had sat for 6 weeks in a criminal bench headed by dear sister Justice Ranjana Desai. To take up bail matters, I was completely 100% civil practitioner. But he said, "Arey, why you are worried? For a good civil lawyer, criminal law is a simple affair. You have 4 weeks of vacation, so please devote that vacation and study criminal law." And that was a great gesture. I prepared compilation of all leading judgments, which I retain even today. And it had a great deal of different experience in those days. For first 10 to 15 days of criminal roster, I could see, because I was member of the bar for a long time, I could see reluctance on the part of members of the bar to argue bail applications. So I went to one of our distinguished colleagues who had practiced to some extent on the criminal side. He was my friend philosopher and guide in judiciary. He said, "Arey, don't worry. If I was member of the bar, I would have done the same thing. Because you are purely civil practitioner. So everybody wants to understand what your approach is." And then of course, the lawyers started appearing and it was a great learning experience. I said so in many judicial academies. I dealt with anticipatory bail applications. Those were the days where there used to be only one judge for anticipatory bail and regular bail. Of course, today it is not possible because the filing has multiplied. So initial days, I may have rejected some anticipatory bail applications, and since I worked for 6 months in that roster, when regular bail applications came, I realized that I may have committed a mistake by denying the anticipatory bail. This is how we learn and we progress as judges. And then that fabulous journey started. Though I was very vocal member in full court meetings, in administrative committee meetings, still all Chief Justices thought it fit to give me a lot of administrative work. I was heading about 8 to 10 committees, and most important committee was our E committee, Legal Services Authority, and various other committees. And that's why I always tell my colleagues in Bombay High Court, Karnataka High Court, all the other high courts that even in full court meetings on the administrative side, you have to express yourself. That is how you evolve as a judge on the administrative side. So that fascinating journey continued. I was judge here for 15 years and 8 months, which is a fairly long time. And of course, it always happens, all of us experience, when you take a long flight, you meet turbulence. And if you are a good pilot, he always maneuvers through the turbulence. There were turbulent moments. There was something which I did, which I even today firmly believe I did in the larger interest of our judiciary, independence of judiciary, and maintaining dignity of judiciary. I did something in 2006, which there are constraints on me, I can't say it openly, but ultimately the members of the bar will have to decide whether I acted in best interest of the judiciary. It was a very drastic decision to take. So that continued, and in this long journey, I always received support of my fraternity, namely the brother and sister judges, and of course the members of the bar. I still remember my farewell in room number 36 and in the library. Even I found it to enter the hall for my own felicitation. So I got a lot of respect and love from the members of the bar, and I'm really surprised that I got it, notwithstanding very strict stand and very firm stand which I took in the court. Somebody talked about reading the files. Just to lighter vein, I want to say something. I had long sitting in Aurangabad bench in 2007. Sister Sadhna may be remembering that. We had Chief Justice, Justice Swatantra Kumar. I received a phone call. He used to call me at 6 o'clock in the morning. अरे उक साहब अगले हफ्ते में आपको औरंगाबाद जाना पड़ेगा. And he said that there are 5,000 civil applications pending and 2,000 criminal first appeals pending at admission stage. So in typical North Indian Hindi, he said, आपको तो अगले हफ्ते में जाना है, आप वापिस आओगे ये सब खत्म करने के बाद में. So I had to stay there till end of July. So I think Justice Suryavanshi was the chairman of the Bar Association. So I said, for felicitating me, I would like to have an interactive session. So one young member of the bar said, at least now you must reveal some secret, a secret of reading. I said that I can't reveal everything. But still, I took liberty and I told him about second appeal roster. When you are heading second appeal roster, my experience is you may try to read for 10 hours also. You can't read more than 35 to 40 cases. But impression of the members of the bar is that judge has read everything. So therefore, if I used to read 40 cases and 41 case used to be called out, I used to have cursory look and ask first question to the lawyer, yes, mister, what is the substantial question of law? The lawyer was under impression that I had read it. Therefore, he said, sir, only 2 minutes. So this is one secret I revealed. I don't know whether I should reveal other secrets. Maybe you have to wait for some more time. The second part of my chapter, much is said about Karnataka. And today is a very unique day. Today, strong presence of Karnataka High Court here. 3 Chief Justices of Karnataka High Court are here. Of course, I am there. Brother Varale is there. And Justice P.S. Dinesh Kumar is here, who is Chairman of SAT. And of course, Brother Alok was Acting Chief Justice. And I think it will take hours for me to describe those challenges. I still remember the day Prime Minister spoke, maybe at 8:30 in the night, that from tomorrow there will be lockdown. We were all taken aback. So I had that unforgettable midnight hearing in Chief Justice's house. I requested Justice Nagaratna to come. She was the senior most judge. Then number 3, number 4, because number 3, Justice Arvind Kumar was chairman of the computer committee. So we had that sitting. I summoned Advocate General, Chief Secretary, and we passed that order, which was followed by many high courts, of continuing interim reliefs granted by all the courts. And at that time, I told the Chief Secretary that I don't know which powers you are going to exercise. We are all groping in the dark for imposing lockdown, but whichever power you exercise, 2 clauses must be there in your order. First is, as far as functioning of the court is concerned, it must be left to the Chief Justice of the High Court. And secondly, all staff members of High Court and all courts in state must be permitted to travel by showing their identity cards. And therefore, first order passed by the Karnataka government contained these two clauses. And of course, I must give credit to the members of the staff, to registry, to my distinguished colleagues who are here. Just, I'll make a slightly departure. Brother Alok and Brother Dinesh Kumar, they are always my victims because I used to always burden them with very heavy assignments. I still remember Brother Aradhe coming to me, Chief Justice, you have given me tax assignment. So I said, brother, you may not have done it, but you will be able to do it. And then I am told that he has record of disposal in income tax appeals. That's what members of the bar tell me. So I had such distinguished colleagues, committed colleagues, and with their help, we could ensure that to some extent court functioning goes on. Those were the days where I told all my brother judges that you have to come to the court and work from the court. You can't work from home because the health workers are on the street. In the sense, we also do the same duty. Therefore, we had to be in the court. And everybody cooperated. And though challenges were different, I realized suddenly in the second wave that so many judges of the Supreme Court and High Court have their relatives in Karnataka. And therefore, I had to actually appoint one registrar to secure admissions to relatives of judges to the members of the bar and staff. I had appealed to the members of the bar, staff members, district judges, civil judges, that anybody wants hospitalization, he will get in touch with one particular registrar. I don't know what impression they carry about me, but those were the days when I did not allow registrars to sleep till midnight. And my registrar judicial, because I used to personally assign dates to the cases, 300, 400 cases. So I used to start work at 9:30 and continue till 3 a.m. Because at that time the allegation was that selected cases are being listed. So I thought that I'll bring about transparency in the process. So it is something which is, I could do it only because of my great colleagues, the registry, the Bangalore bar. Speaking about Bangalore bar, I have one quality. Of course, Bombay bar, in terms of quality, is different. I mean, I experience that every day in Supreme Court. But even bar at Bangalore, they are excellent. Members of the bar here will be surprised. Till 2021, I never saw anybody raising his voice in the court. I never saw throwing of the files. Never saw that in Karnataka. Such was a distinguished bar. Now, I must come to something which is very important. Why the judiciary is under attack? The reason is lawyers and litigants feel that matters are not reaching, matters are not being taken up, and this is applicable not to Bombay High Court but up to Supreme Court. And therefore, as far as the trial courts and high courts are concerned, we made some effort in the Supreme Court. We came out with the action plan for disposal of old cases in the district courts. There was phase 1, 2, and 3. Phase 3 will end in July, and we are coming out with phase 4 and 5. And we are monitoring it on weekly basis. Recently, about 2 months back, I was heading a committee. We requested your Chief Justice to head a committee of very distinguished Chief Justices and High Court judges, and we have evolved action plan for disposal of old cases in high courts. We had a first meeting. We have forwarded the plan to each high court, and we have requested them to adopt it with modifications. As far as trial and district judiciary is concerned, we are following it up. High courts being constitutional courts, we are not going to do that, but we are going to hold meetings. And there are very important parts of that action plan. One part, I believe, is most important, which with the support of people like Justice Dinesh Kumar and Brother Alok, I implemented auto listing of fresh cases. There, we had, for 1 year, I was there, last 1 year, we said even if there are objections raised by the registry, case has to be listed maybe after an interval of 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days, and without an exception. In fact, we took such a tough stand that even one aberration, one default, we used to give memo to the concerned staff member. I believe the same pattern has been introduced, but that should be done in every High Court. Now that action plan is something I request Chief Justice Aradhe to discuss with his colleagues. There are many facets of the action plan. I have said this on public platform. One area where we have gone wrong is we do not have a concrete policy about giving priorities. To which cases we should be given priority? Whether we should give cases, priority to cases which are so-called commercial cases because they involve high monetary stake, or we should give priority to matrimonial matters, to the litigation of common man in the form of first appeals and second appeals, tax matters, constitutional matters, criminal matters. That's a different area. So therefore, we have suggested that priority cases have to be identified. In fact, we had long deliberation in NCMS committee where I said that now there is a executive fiat by Supreme Court that cases of senior citizens, those who are above 60, should be given priority. Our action plan gives freedom to the High Court to change that, because I always believe if you are hearing a family court appeal, should I give priority to husband and wife who are in early 20s or 30s, or should I hear somebody is over 60, hear their matrimonial dispute because they are senior citizens? So action plan deals with that. Another important thing, now I have been traveling to many high courts, I have delivered lectures in many judicial academies, various fora of various high courts. One thing which I realized was where we are going wrong. Maybe when I was judge of the High Court, I may have committed the same mistake. I am no different. That now there is a tendency to decide each and every matter at admission. And now our courts are full of criminal matters. I am hearing a PIL on the judicial side. I saw those figures. 18,000 cases pending, 40,000 cases appeals pending in various high courts. And mind you, when we sit on the judicial side and hear these matters, criminal appeals, sometimes you feel very sad where you find that trial court has granted capital punishment in a case of no evidence. People languish in jail for 14 years, 15 years when there is no evidence. And in the bargain, we destroy their families. We say that if accused is on bail, we will not give priority to that case. We will deal with only cases of accused who are in custody. But look at the scenario. In Bombay High Court, I saw the figures. Division bench appeals or single judges appeals of the accused on bail are pending for more than 20 years. And when very serious practical difficulty arises, when appeal comes up for hearing where conviction is under 302 or offense where life sentence is the punishment, we find that it's very difficult for judges to send somebody back to jail after a span of 20 years or 25 years. Meanwhile, he moves ahead in life, his family moves ahead in life. And then sometimes, I say so openly, sometimes we try to find out that workable arrangement of converting 302 into 304, part 1 or 2. Now, this is one area where we have said that High Court should work. Now, we must identify criminal appeals where bail has been granted of old people or where the offense is very serious, maybe double murder, triple murder, or something to do with terrorism. So there also we must have a relook now, whether we should keep those appeals pending in large numbers. And one more thing which we can't ignore, the change in the society is affecting us. Kind of 482 petitions which are being filed. In Allahabad, you will find your matter is listed at 1,400 serial number, and that board rolls on. Same is the case with Bombay High Court. It's impossible for judges to deal with so many matters. And sometimes we also commit mistake when we expect judges to give reasons for granting ad interim relief. Therefore, this is one, and this all happens because of the change in the functioning of the executive, change in the society. For example, matrimonial matters. Now, one matrimonial matter, which are on rights, creates 5 grassroots level litigations. And those 5 litigations in different courts multiply. Appeals, revision in Sessions Court, in High Court, in Supreme Court. Supreme Court, so many matters come. So these are the category of cases, 482 petitions and matrimonial disputes, these two category of cases, especially matrimonial disputes, our judiciary may crumble under pressure. Therefore, we have to find out ways and means. Bombay High Court has a scheme, Let's Talk, where idea was before the parties go to the court in matrimonial dispute, they should approach that center. We have counselors, that's on small scale, but we need to actually work on that. So, since very distinguished members of the bar are here, sitting judges of the Bombay High Court are here, this is one area about the case management, about the priorities. A very, very serious consideration is required. And since Justice Alok Aradhe is helm of the affairs, who is the author of that action plan, I think Bombay High Court can take a lead and show the path. Of course, that usual difficulty is there. We have strength of 92. I don't think we have struggled. We have maintained strength of more than 2/3. Karnataka, I was lucky. I always maintain strength of more than 2/3. But here, litigations are getting piled up. Look at the filing in Aurangabad bench, much more than what is cases which are filed. And therefore, there also we need to have change of approach. I said in my judgment, are we going to spend hours of court valuable time in arguing section 34 and section 37 petitions? Are we going to give so much of priority to the commercial litigation when common man is waiting in queue for justice and he gets an impression that he is not getting justice? So I call upon the members of the bar, the judges who are present here, to consider the whole aspect. We need to have a fresh approach. I think I can go on and on. The time is coming to an end. Only last part about technology. I've been traveling across India. I was the one who fought for introduction of technology in Karnataka. One common problem, one common thread I discussed with so many judges of the High Court, and especially I went to Assam Bar Association. One thread is, sir, use of technology is acceptable, but how can you make e-filing compulsory? Every High Court, this is the response I get. And therefore, I always personally believed in Karnataka also that making e-filing compulsory will not help the cause of justice. On the contrary, we should incentivize e-filing by saying that if you e-file a case, it will be heard on 3rd day. But many High Courts is making e-filing compulsory is creating lots of problems. In fact, I always believe that we should have citizen-centric services like we had in Karnataka, e-certified copy. You apply online and you pay some fee and get a certified copy with that QR code. So we should focus more on citizen-centric services. We should more focus. In fact, one of the features of the action plan is that every High Court in India must do physical verification of cases. The reason for physical verification is that complete mismatch is there in data, actual pendency and the data which we see on the High Court website or on the National Judicial Data Grid. So therefore, use of technology is most welcome. We must adopt technology, but we should adopt technology to ensure that the courts are made more citizen-friendly and not to create hurdles by making e-filing compulsory. I always believe that use of technology introduces ease of doing business. But at the same time, we must remember one thing. Only by use of technology, we are not going to improve the quality of justice rendered by the courts. For there, the human efforts are required. Artificial intelligence is not going to help you to improve the quality of justice. Artificial intelligence, we are using it. Somebody, earlier speaker referred, we are translating judgments of the Supreme Court and High Courts in regional languages. We are using our AI tool, which again requires waiting. AI tools are not perfect. So therefore, more and more technology must be used. Technology can be used to identify old cases. AI technology can be used. AI technology can help you to have proper auto listing, to fix proper priorities. But technology has to be used for benefit of common litigant. And that's the policy change which we need to introduce. We have been discussing that in Supreme Court for quite some time. I hope that that message percolates. Before I end, as I said, I'm not really impressed by the use of word retirement, because I don't believe in that philosophy that, if you retire, you get freedom. I always believe that as a judge, you get greatest freedom to do justice, which you will not get outside the judicial world. But I don't take credit. As I said, I have many shortcomings. I don't claim that I was a jurist. I don't claim that I written some landmark judgments. And I always believe that when you are a judge, you should not do anything to make your presence felt. Your success will be counted if your absence is felt after you demit office. That's the way I take it. We use that term very often, assuming without admitting. I have done some good work. I must give full credit to this great institution of Bombay High Court, Karnataka High Court, and of course Supreme Court, because these courts were training schools for me. I am really touched by the earlier speakers who spoke, maybe Birendra, Saraf, maybe Anil Singh, and especially Anil Singh, my dear friend from practice days. They were always on the receiving side in my court. But they were so generous, and they were so generous about speaking about me. It was really overwhelming experience for me. And therefore, as I said, I told my secretary, I won't have written speech, few points I jotted. I again thank all of you from my bottom of my heart that you have called me here. You have called me here in this historic room number 46. And I am therefore greatly indebted to all of you. I again thank Chief Justice and of course Justice Ajit Shah. I think occasion was my felicitation, but Justice Shah is successful in giving you a message which all of you will remember. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We are really overwhelmed and humbled to listen to these words of motivation and wisdom. Sir, you have always stood as a strong lighthouse, steadfast to the highest principles, and your address today shall remain as an everlasting guiding light to all of us to sail smooth through the journey of our profession. I once again thank you and express my gratitude for accepting our invitation for today's function. May I now request our Secretary, Shri Suresh Sabrad, to proceed to offer a vote of thanks.
Honorable Justice Oak, Honorable Justice Prasanna Varale, Honorable Chief Justice of our Premium High Court, Honorable Ajit P. Shah, Retired Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Additional Solicitor General, Respected Anil Singh Sir, Advocate General Saraf Sir, Respected Sudeep Pasbola, Chairman of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, President of our Association, Honorable Sitting Judges of our Court, Honorable Chairman of various tribunals, Honorable former Judges of the Supreme Court, former Chief Justices of various High Courts, Honorable former Judges of our Court, Respected Anuja Madam, Respected Radhika Madam, family members and friends of Honorable Justice Oak, respected seniors, members of the bar, and my dear friends. Indeed, it's a proud moment for our association that we are celebrating grand achievement of a great personality, Justice Abhay Srinivas Oak, a judge, a human rights activist, an environmentalist, a stalwart of law, a man of principles, a man of discipline, a man of devotion, an inspiration to many, and a real gem of our association. I, on behalf of our association, humbly say to Honorable Justice Oak, sir, that we are really proud of you. It is always and rightly so that behind every successful man there is always a woman, and same is in respect of successful achievement of Justice Oak. Respected Anuja Madam always stood behind Oak Sir, and in view of her support and backing, Oak Sir could achieve such great milestones. Thank you so much, Anuja Madam, for your wholehearted support to Oak Sir. As we know that Honorable Justice Oak is dedicated to work and used to sleep hardly 3 to 4 hours, I would like to share one of my experiences just to show as to how, with great dedication, Oak Sir while practicing used to work. I had briefed him in one first appeal, which was kept for final hearing before the division bench. And just one day prior to hearing, Oak Sir called me for conference at his office at 10:30 p.m. Our conference started at 11 p.m. and went on till 1 a.m. After the conference was over, whilst I was arranging all the papers, Oak Sir dialed a number. I thought that Oak Sir might be calling Anuja Madam. But to my surprise, Oak Sir in the night at 1 p.m. called his stenographer and asked him to come to office at 5 a.m. Was also shocked when Oak Sir informed me that usually he calls steno at 6 a.m. but called him early since wanted to prepare written notes of arguments in our matter. I was more surprised when Oak Sir informed me that he would leave his residence at 4 a.m. and would walk to his office, which was at a distance about 3 to 4 kilometers. Such is the hard work and dedication of Honorable Justice Oak, and he would hardly sleep for 3 to 4 hours. Honorable Justice Oak used to read all the matters on board, no matter how big is the bulk of the matter, and it's really not known how His Lordship would get so much of time. While presiding in court number 16A, Oak Sir had an assignment of ad interim matters. Being a small courtroom, the courtroom always used to be packed. One matter seemed to have big stake was called on, wherein on both the sides, several respected senior advocates, not only from this court, but also from the Supreme Court were appearing. The moment the matter was called, about 10 to 12 volumes, each volume running into hundreds of pages, were placed before Justice Oak, out of which hurriedly Oak Sir took one volume and asked the learned senior counsel appearing for the plaintiff to come to page number so and so and posed a query. Initially, it took times for the learned senior counsel to get hold of that volume, and after coming to that page, the learned senior counsel started taking instructions. But nobody could answer the query, and the matter which would have gone for hours together was adjourned in few minutes. Thus, Oak Sir used to painstakingly read all the matters and used to complete the entire board daily, apart from hearing production matters at 4:30 p.m. Honorable Justice Oak is a man of principle and used to strictly follow all the rules. All of us know Oak Sir did not accept the official residence and all the way used to travel from Thane, and thankfully, in those days, the court working hours were from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Many of us may not be aware that Oak Sir used to his official car only for official purpose, and for personal purposes, he used to his personal car. Similarly, Oak Sir also used to pay all the toll charges, irrespective of whether it's official or personal travel. Once there was very heavy traffic while coming from Thane, and howsoever Oak Sir reached High Court at 11 a.m. and immediately presided over. After a few minutes, his mobile phone rang in the court, which by mistake and in hurry remained in his pocket. The moment the phone rang, Oak Sir immediately took it out, switched it off, and handed over to his peon and directed him to give it to the prothonory. And subsequently, we learned that Oak Sir, only after making payment of fine, took back the phone. Thus, Oak Sir is a man of principle. Really hats off to you and your principles, sir. The association is very much honored, privileged, and very much thankful to Honorable Justice Oak for giving our association an opportunity to hold this function for felicitation of your lordships. Thank you so much, sir. We are thankful to Honorable Justice Prasanna Varale for not only accepting our invitation of felicitation, but also attending and gracing the same with short notice. Indeed, Varale sir, the association is honored by your presence. We are thankful to Honorable the Chief Justice, not only for presiding over this function, but instantly granting permission to hold this function in this central courtroom and directing all concerned officials to make proper arrangements. Thank you so much, sir. We are not only thankful to Honorable Justice Ajit P. Shah, sir, for accepting this invitation and graciously attending and felicitating Honorable Justice Oak, but also, sir, whilst a judge of this Honorable Court, your Lordships have encouraged juriors to argue the matters, and because of which juniors like us have flourished. Thank you so much, sir. We are all indebted to you, sir. We are thankful to Additional Solicitor General Shri Anil Singh for attending and gracing this function, in spite of having a grand function today in his family. Thank you so much, sir. We are thankful to Advocate General Shri Birendra Saraf for attending and gracing this function. We are thankful to the Chairman of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, Shri Sudeep Pasbola, sir, for attending and gracing this function. We are very thankful to our President, Mr. Prashant Relekar, for not only organizing this function so well, but also coming out with this novel idea of inviting close family members and friends and giving Honorable Justice Oak a good surprise. Thank you so much, President, sir. We are very much thankful to the Honorable Sitting Judges of this court for gracing this function, and special thanks to our Honorable Senior Judges who had to postpone their scheduled program only for attending this function. Thank you so much, Your Lordships. We are thankful to Honorable Supreme Court Judges, Justice B.N. Sri Krishna and Justice Hemant Gokhale, former Chief Justices, former judges of this Honorable Court for sparing time and gracing this function. We are also thankful to various tribunals, the Chairman of various tribunals, Justice Ranjit Mori sir, Justice Bhadang sir, and Justice Dinesh Kumar for attending this function. It goes without saying that we are thankful to Anuja Madam, Radhika Madam, relatives and close friends of Honorable Justice Oak. We are also thankful to all respected seniors, members of the Bar Council and friends for having attended this function in large number. We are also thankful to Mr. Patne, the President of Ratnagiri Bar Association, who has all along from Ratnagiri have come to attend this function. Thank you, Patne sir. Last but not the least, we are thankful to the Registrar General and the entire team of Registry, Court Keeper and all concerned for making this function a grand success. Thank you one and all.
Let us now rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय